So we're going to have a lot of fun today with watercolor. I personally love the look of alcohol inks, but I don't always like to play with them. Sometimes I like to pull out my watercolors, and so today we're going to do just that, and we're going to get sort of a similar technique to the alcohol inks when you're using the blower tool. I'm going to show you some of the products that I used for this. Some sentiment stamps here. We have the Scrapbook.com All Heart and Botanical Borders. I'm also going to use some dies. We have the Heartfelt Wishes and the Rainbow Wishes from Scrapbook.com. Cosmic Shimmer Glitter for the jazzing up of our card. Gansai Tambi Karataki brand here. So I'm going to be using those for our watercoloring. So I'm going to start this project with a piece of watercolor cardstock here, cut down to an A2 size, which is 5.5 by 4.25, and I am going to just start playing. The great thing about this technique is that everything's going to turn out differently. Every background's going to be different, but it's just going to be really giving yourself some time to play. So I'm going to start by wetting my paintbrush, and I'm going to get it really sopping wet. Now you can do this where you only get a bit on the end and then start your process, or you can wet up till half the cardstock, really. So I'm going to kind of go about 1/3 of the way down. And again, you want it nice and soppy wet. So the colors that I'm going to play with today here from my Gansai Tambi, I have them swatched out right here. So we're going to start with a blue. I'm going to go for this blue right here, almost like a bluish gray. And then we're going to move into purple and then a pink. So I'm going to wet my paintbrush here. Add a bit of water, and then I'm just going to go and let the watercolor just kind of do its work here. The more water, honestly, for this technique, the better. You can't be afraid of just getting it nice and soppy wet. Okay, so I got that nice and wet, and you want to kind of move pretty fast through this. So I'm going to go to my next color, but even if you don't move as fast as you want, it's okay, because you're going to be able to kind of make up for it. It's a little bit forgiving, so that's nice. But then I'm going to take my blower tool, which is one of the items that you want to have as well. You can try to use a straw, but I really like this for alcohol inks, and so you get that really fun kind of splattery look there. And so I want to use this. I don't find I get the same result from a straw, so I'm going to go back in. I mean, I wish I could tell you that I had some sort of rhyme or reason on how I was doing this, but it really is just slopping down some color and just getting that sort of that alcohol-y look from when we would play with alcohol inks. And that's that. So then I'm going to go in, still while it's wet, I'm not going to dry it, and I'm going to go in with my next color, which is going to be sort of like a mauve-y pink. And I'm going to lay that then halfway through there. So I'm just going to drag it down. Now I don't have to drag it all the way to the end if I want to mix that blue color with another color, which I'm going to add red, so it's going to give us sort of a darker purple. But I do need to get a little bit of water kind of moving in this direction, because I want to make sure that I'm able to kind of move it around. So then I'm going to kind of mix those two with each other. And even if you think this isn't coming out great, you're going to have fun doing it. That I can assure you. Okay, so now I have this little bit of blue left over. And so what I'm going to do then is re-wet it. I want to get some clean water. I have two containers here, one clean, one dirty. And I am going to just wet that again so that we can get that moving. There we go. That's what I was looking for, not a red. So we're going to add pink, and I am going to then, like I said, you can just play with whatever kind of background you're looking for. So a softer background, you can add a lot of water, just, whatever, sky's the limit. Okay, so where's my blower? Anyone else lose stuff on their craft table? Yes. All right, and so now we're just going to go through, and when you feel like maybe it's drying or it's not moving enough, all you have to do is go in with your paintbrush, and you can drop a little bit of water on there, and that's going to just give you a little bit more opportunity to get that moving. Now let me show you some other examples that I made that are already dried. So here's one where I was doing the similar technique. You can see those really organic sort of sprays, and the way that it dries by air drying it, you can kind of see some of that really fun area here. So I like that a lot. These right here are some of the other color palettes that I did. So I did this really cool yellow, green, and then pink. And surprisingly, I didn't get mudding, so that was really great. But you can see just from doing that original first technique that I showed you, and these are all dry. But the blend that you get right here is just wonderful. So you get this really smooth blend up here, and then just a little bit of fun down here. Okay, and then here's one that is a little bit more of a rainbow-ish color. So a lot of great ideas here, a lot of great backgrounds that you can get. Super fun, highly recommend this. And this is just, I don't know, it just makes me giddy. I love it, it's sparkly, it's fun. So we're gonna do that. Also, while I'm here, this was the first technique I showed you as well, but I only went down to here. So I started off very close to the border, and I love that as well. I love that it's just kind of a hint of a fun background, but it didn't go all the way down. So again, just have fun with it. So let's show the glitter technique so we can show how to do that, and then we'll finish off these cards. I'm going to take these two examples to show how we can do that glitter technique. And like I said, I have this Cosmic Shimmer holographic glitter. This is the Silver Gems. It is super sparkly. I also have the Frosted Sparkle. So Frosted Sparkle and Silver Gems, and I'm going to try to use both. Okay, so the things you need for this technique are a makeup sponge or a Scrapbook.com sponge or any kind of spongy type material. I had cut up my sponges as well. And if you use a crafting sponge like this, these are the smoother sponges, but I don't think it really matters at all. So if you use sort of like the sponges that look like sponges, that should be totally fine too. But I'm going to cut this up and get 4 pieces from it. And I would recommend you do that too, no matter what you're using. Get it to the smallest version that you can so that you're saving and being able to use a lot. Okay, so we're going to open this up. And you can see, I'm going to show you up close all this sparkle in here. It's just gorgeous. So you can see that. Couple other convenience tools here. I'm going to use this spoon from Nuvo so I can pull out my glitter. And I am choosing to use the Nuvo Deluxe adhesive. The reason I'm choosing this adhesive is because it's not tacky when it dries. Tacky glue definitely has its place in the craft room, but for this I don't want the leftover glue to feel, you're not going to be able to feel it because it won't be tacky, as well as it dries clear. I am going to just pour out some of my glitter. You don't need a lot. I'm just going to pour out that one little spoonful, and then I'm going to add some glue to it. Now, if your glue has air in it, just, I learned this from experience, don't try to pour out the glue right over your glitter because then, you know, glitter's going to go everywhere. So I'm going to get that air out, and then I'm just going to lay the glue right on top of it, and it'll start to sort of pick up and just bond with that right there with that glitter. And then I'm going to just sort of mix it around a little bit, and you can see that the glitter is almost starting to disappear. It just looks like white glue. So have no fear. Once you get that on there, you're just going to take it to your project and you're going to pounce it wherever you feel you want to put your glitter. Now it's going to bond with the glitter and the glue at the same time, and this is really fun because you can put it wherever you want it. You know, and it's flat. So I don't have any real bumpy glue or anything like that where I've put that down first, and it's not brushed on with a brush, so it's just really organic looking. So you're just going to continue that to where you want all your glitter on your project, and then you are good to go. So I'm going to show you a close-up here so you can see how super sparkly that is. It's great. I picked this Rainbow Wishes die from Scrapbook.com, but I'm going to take the inside of the die. So instead of using, I guess this would be the positive, I'm actually going to use just the negative. And the reason for that is because I don't want to cover up this background too much. I really do want you to be able to see what's underneath there. So I'm just going to lay this out. I'm going to show you what my layout will look like, and then I'll just glue it down. Okay, so while I'm assembling these cards, I definitely would recommend tweezers if you don't have them. They're really great to hold your sentiments or your thin, intricate dies so that you can just put the glue on and not get glue all over your fingers. But as I'm putting this card together, I will tell you that I sent out a few cards recently. I'm okay about it. I won't say I'm bad about it. I usually send them out, every quarter or so. But I sent out a couple cards, and then I had forgotten that I sent them. But I got flooded with a bunch of text messages around the same day that my friends and loved ones had received them. And they were just over the moon excited about it. I think if any time, now is a great time to be getting random happy mail when you go out to check the mailbox. So, but it just reminded me of how lovely it is to be able to be a part of that and just send out just such kind messages to everybody and just let them know you're thinking about them. But over on Scrapbook.com, they have cards for kindness. So if you have not heard about this, I know a lot of you have reached out to me and asked me, about where to donate cards and things like that. Well, Cards for Kindness is awesome. You just have to create or send in, at minimum, 10 cards. And there's a submission form on the Scrapbook.com for kindness, or Scrapbook.com/kindness, and you just mail in your cards with the submission form to them, and then they take care of the rest. So it's super easy. And what happens with those cards is they're used by just a variety of things. So sometimes they're given to doctors, nurses, they write words of encouragement to the patients, and sometimes they're just given to people who are going through a hard time, which is exactly what we do with this hobby. So just if you do this, just make sure that you do the submission form, because they do require that, and easy to print, fill it out, good to go. So I was reminded this past week of how important that step is in card making, to get those cards out and brighten people's day, and just a sweet little message in there. Everybody's just going through a lot right now, so it's our turn. Let's do it. I'm going to take my A2 size card base. All right, same thing, just kind of flatten it down, and there we go. So we have a super flat card. I am going to pull out the Heartfelt Wishes from Scrapbook.com, and I have die cut that. This time I'm using the positive, and I'm going to place that there, and then I stamped out this sentiment that says thank you very much, and I am going to actually what I call bubble cut my sentiment. When you bubble cut, that means to cut around the letters in the shape of the letters, you get a really unique look. It's like it was die cut with a matching coordinating die, but it wasn't. Okay, so now I have this, like I said, I've bubble cut it, and this is going to go right in the center. So it makes the sentiment stand out a little bit, and it just really gives a little bit of a different look instead of just a flat rectangle sentiment. So I'm just going to lay this down with some glue as well. Okay, my glue, again, my tweezers are super helpful. I'm going to opt for the corner down here because I feel like it offsets where the rest of the design is on the card. So I'm going to place that down, and then I am not going to pop this up. I'm actually going to just lay this down right on top of this glitter cardstock here. But because it is glitter cardstock, I am going to put something heavy on it just so that it stays adhered until it's fully dried. So here are some of the finished cards. This one is the background that we did on screen that I shared with you, as well as this one. So you can see just all that wonderful sparkle and shine, and you can really make these versatile. Any sentiment that you want, any die cut just to add a little extra to it. So I have a couple thank you cards. This one I added a happy birthday just to make that pop a little bit. And then here's the love, you and me forever, and the thinking of you.